there, Sandra here from createinspain and Siser Juliet Beginners to Pro. Today I want to show you how to easily create an envelope of whatever size you need to create it, in case you ever make any cards which are non-standard size, which occasionally I do when I'm using up leftovers. Very irritating if you suddenly discover it's about ½ centimetre too big to go into a standard envelope. But there's a way of creating nice envelopes easily. So we're going to pretend that this is the size card I've got, which I have made 14 by 8. Could be any size, doesn't make any difference. I am going to lock this so it's not going to go anywhere. And what I'm going to do is to make each of these the appropriate size to fit on these edges. So I want this triangle to be 14 wide. And that makes it pretty huge. And I'm going to move it up here. And that's definitely not going to be the right shape, is it? I mean, it's going to be way too long. It's not going to fit. So if we uncheck the proportions here and we pull the height down considerably, I think that is probably maybe not quite that much. Okay, I think that's probably round about what I would expect. What I can't do from this is see where it would go exactly here. So there's a little trick on this. You select it, you go to Effects, and you go to Symmetrical Mirror. Now I need to do from bottom to top or top to bottom. Pull this down and then update the preview and I get this. Now you notice I've got these little dimples in the side. That's fine. That's going to be my guide to make sure I've got it in the right place when I want it. So that's going to go like that. That's still a little bit too deep, I think. So I'm going to make that a little less. Yeah, I think that's as I want it, more or less. But I have to move it down now because it's not centered. And just nudge that up a little bit. There we go. So that would be the front of my envelope, and that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So this one I need to make 14 again. And pull it to the corner there. Now I'm pretty sure that's going to be too deep, so uncheck the proportions and take the height down a bit. And now I'm going to go to the Effects, Symmetrical Mirror, and I'm going to go bottom to top and do that, update the preview. That's what I expected, so click OK. So now I know that this is where my overlaps are. Now when you're doing this, make sure to take the colour out of your shapes, because otherwise you can't see where they overlap properly, and you really do want to see that. So I'm not entirely convinced this is high enough, so I would increase the height a little bit and then move it up again so that halfway mark is on the green line. There we are, like so. And I'll do the same with these. Now it's going to be 8 deep. So just put in the 8 and put that there. Don't worry about the corners at the moment. Go to the Effects, Symmetrical Mirror, and I want right to left. Pull this right down, update my preview and click on OK. So you can see that I've got all the base of this side covered. That's an overlap. Where those lines are there, they're overlapping. And I need that because I need to be able to glue the envelope shut, don't I? So it's a good idea to have an overlap. I may have a little bit more than I need. So maybe I'm going to uncheck the proportions and bring the width down a bit. So do that. And then move it so that the center line is there. Actually, come down a bit more, I think. And move it over. Okay, I'm quite happy that that is pretty much okay. Now I don't need this shape here because this is going to be identical, so I can simply copy that, paste it in place and just move one over to the other side. There we go. And now everything is going to be overlapping. So what I can do now is just go through all of it, go to path and union, and then I have my outer shape. Now I'd probably want a little bit of an offset so that I've got a little bit of wriggle room for my card, because if that was the exact size, it would be a very tight fit. But obviously you can make it so that this is slightly bigger than your card size, you know, give it a centimetre in either direction or whatever. Or you can take this line here and you can go to effects, go to a shadow layer, and you can put in another 4mm, for example. Outline only. Yeah, that is fine. So I can now remove this one, take that out of the way, and I can go to Object, Unlock All, and I would generally do a light score line with a scoring tool rather than anything else. So that's how you make your envelope the right size. It's quite easy to do. You get used to doing this pretty quickly, and you can play around with the shapes that you use for the flaps. That's entirely your choice. You can have them sort of semicircular, you can have them pointed, you can have them rounded like this one, whatever you happen to like. But that's how you make sure that it's all going to cover the card and there will be an overlap there for you to stick down the envelope flap, because that can be a bit of a problem if you don't have that overlap. Now, regards cutting it out, you can get some envelopes out of A4 if they're not too big. Mostly you'll probably want a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And if you can't get your hands on 12 by 12 paper, go buy some gift wrap. It doesn't have to be fancy stuff. It could be a plain brown gift wrap, could be a natural feeling one, could be a glossy one, or you can go the whole hog and have a very decorative paper envelope if that's what you want to do. But it's cheap, it cuts easily, and of course you can cut much larger sizes from it. So if you have a A3 size mat for your cutting machine, you can cut some pretty large envelopes, much larger than I would ever need. So there you go, that's how to do it without too much of a problem. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon. Take care now.